Hello friends, welcome to another video of Zeta Axis, and today we are going to discuss about two important local winds that are Foehn and Chinook. Now both of these winds are local winds. There are several local winds around the world which you can see over here, and in the upcoming videos we will discuss each of these local winds one by one. But what are local winds? So normally we have seen that there are trade winds which are permanent winds and they are these wind belts. But the local winds are different from them. These arise due to different pressure or other circumstances in the locality, and that is why they are confined to one region. They are not found all across the globe. This is the basic classification of these local winds. So this are the local winds which are mainly catabatic winds. Here we see the local winds which are created due to fronts, and here are some which are created alone by the pressure gradient variations. And we will discuss each of them in detail in upcoming videos. But today we will focus on the two most important local winds. Now before going into that, let's try to understand what is adiabatic heating and adiabatic cooling. We have discussed this topic in great detail in another video, so if you want to understand it, then you can check out that video. Basically, when the air is moving and there is an obstacle, the air will rise up and it will descend on the other side. The side where it is rising, it gets cooled down because of the decrease in pressure on the peak of the mountain, and this is called adiabatic cooling. And because of this we see that here there will be a lot of rainfall because the temperature of the air decreases, causing saturation in the air, while on the other side we see that when the wind descends, it is adiabatically heated because here the pressure is less and here the pressure is more. Because of this adiabatic heating, the moisture carrying capacity of the wind increases and therefore it will not give any rainfall over here. This is explained in greater detail in the video and the link should be available in the description. Now another thing is catabatic wind. Catabatic wind is basically the winds which descend from the mountain tops. Here in this video we can see that these are the catabatic winds. Remember, the winds is coming from the mountain and it is descending. So here we do not see that the wind is rising in the locality, but it is descending in this locality. So these descending winds are called catabatic winds. Catabatic winds can also occur in this phenomena which we saw earlier. Here we can see that they are rising over here and they are descending over here. So this region where the air is rising is called anabatic winds, while this region where it is descending from the peak of the mountain is called catabatic winds. There is also another condition where we see that even though there is a mountain, the wind from top layer will descend. Here the wind is not rising, so there is no anabatic wind, but here we see catabatic winds and these winds are adiabatically heated. Now this concept is very important in understanding both Foehn and Chinook winds. Let's start with Foehn winds. Now this is basically a general term used these days, but it basically refers to the local winds flowing in the Alpinian region. Now if you focus on the Central Europe region, we can see that most of the year the westerlies is flowing over there. More specifically, during the winter of the northern hemisphere, we will see that this region experiences westerly wind flow. That is, wind is moving from the Mediterranean Sea towards the European mainland. Now because of this, what happens that the wind, it will try to cross the Alp mountains. These are the Alp mountains which are marked by this line, and here we can see that the wind is trying to cross this Alp mountain. Now if we see it from the close, we can see that the landscape of this region is something like this. We have the plain region over here and relatively plain region over here, and the Alp mountain is over here. Now the wind which tries to move from here, it has to rise up towards the peak of the mountain and then descend over here. And because of this phenomena, we have already seen that here there will be adiabatic cooling. This is anabatic wind and it will experience adiabatic cooling and it will give rainfall or snow on this side. While when it descends, it will experience adiabatic heating. This is called catabatic wind. Here the wind will be warmer, and because of this wind being warmer, if there is any snow over here, it will melt the snow. So these Foehn winds they cause snow melting in the region and they increase the temperature of that region. Now here are the characteristics of Foehn wind. We had already discussed that it is a catabatic wind because it is descending from the mountain top of Alps. These winds are dry and relatively warm because of adiabatic heating. Remember, when it is descending, it is adiabatically compressed, raising the temperature and moisture carrying capacity of the winds. Therefore, it is dry and warm. The winds approaching on a mountain are uplifted. So, we saw that when the winds were approaching the Alp mountains, they were uplifted. So, on the windward side, that is, on this side, we will see that there will be a lot of rainfall. So adiabatic cooling cools the upwelling wind and moisture condenses to give a rain on the rain shadow side. Now when we go on the leeward side, that is this side of the mountain, then we will see that here the descending wind adiabatically gets heated, wind gets heated and becomes warmer, and therefore there is very less rainfall in this region. Because the wind is warm, it also melts the snow and it also raises the temperature in the surrounding. Here we can clearly see that this wind can raise temperatures by as much as 14 degrees Celsius in just a matter of hours. It is also called a snow eater because it melts the ice sheets. And the region experiences forest fire because of the dry and warm air. So it increases the hazard of forest fire. There are certain examples of Foehn wind. So basically this wind is now generalized, and wherever there is such catabatic winds, we call them Foehn winds. So Chinook in USA and Canada, which we will see later in this video, is also a type of Foehn wind. Then we have Nor'wester, Santa Ana, Zonda and Berg winds in South Africa. Now let's see the Chinook winds, which is also a type of catabatic wind. Now if we concentrate in this region, we will see that these regions also during the winter season of the northern hemisphere, they are also experiencing the westward current or the westerlies. So the permanent westerlies is flowing from the Pacific Ocean towards the US or the mainland of America. Now because of this, we see that the wind will try to cross the Rocky Mountains. Here we have a chain of mountains which includes the Rockies as well as Cascade and other mountains. It will try to cross these mountains. If we see the landscape of this region, we can clearly see that here there is sea, then there is a chain of mountains over here, and then we have the Polaris plains over here, which is also called as Great Plain of North America. So the wind, it rises from here, and then we will see that it goes over these mountains and descend over here. And because of this, we will see that when it is rising up over here, it is getting adiabatically cooled, forming clouds and giving rain over here. It will also give snowfall in this region. But when it descends over here, we will see that it is adiabatically heated because of adiabatic compression when the air is moving from the peak of the mountain towards the plain region, because the pressure is lower over here and the pressure is higher over here. So here are the characteristics of Chinook wind. They are commonly observed during late autumn through winter and in early spring. So basically they are generally part of westerlies, which is experienced by this region during the winter time. The winds rise over Rockies mountains and then descend in Canadian prairies and Great Plains. And because they are warm, they melt the snow, and that is why they are called snow eater. On the windward side, they cause heavy rain. So we saw that here they will cause heavy rain. Over Rockies, it causes snow. On the leeward side, it causes snow melting and increases temperature. So as we discussed, here it will cause snowfall on the mountain tops. Here it will cause rainfall, while here it will cause melting of snow because it has heated as it is descending downwards. There are certain other characteristics that it is mainly caused by strong pressure gradient. So over the Pacific, there is high pressure, and over the mainland of US, there is low pressure. So because of this change in pressure gradient, the winds flow from ocean towards the land. They also cause rapid increase in temperature. They can increase the temperature from 30 to 50 degrees Fahrenheit within a very short interval. And they are generally experienced in these regions, that is central US region, Montana, Wyoming, Colorado, and Alberta in Canada. There is another characteristic feature of Chinook where we can see that there is this cloud arc which is seen with the upcoming Chinook winds. Now these are stratus clouds and they do not give much rainfall, but they are very distinctive in the sky as the winds are approaching. Now here is how the Chinook cloud arc are formed. The air which is descending from the Rocky Mountains is descending at a very high velocity. But here there is already some amount of air which is not moving at that velocity. So when the air comes over here, some eddies are created and the wind can be uplifted at a very high velocity. And therefore there is adiabatic cooling and we see that there is this moisture. However, these are stratus clouds, that is they are higher clouds and they generally do not give any precipitation. I hope you understood how these Foehn and Chinook winds are formed. If you have liked the video, then do subscribe to the channel and share it with your friends. If you like what we are doing, then you can use the Paytm ID to support us. Thanks for watching the video.